Today we review Magic Shine's CME 300. Hello legends and super legends, welcome to Velo Harmony. In today's review, I'm introducing a light made by a company called Magic Shine. They call it the CME 300, S-E-E-M-E, CME 300. The 300 represents the highest lumens available in that light. It's right here in this box. I've been riding with it for a little over a week or so. And I'm at the point where I kind of want to do a little quick review here. What I like about the light, besides just the form factor and the features, the plethora of attachments available. That's a nice thing that they offer. This is what the light looks like. That's the form factor. That's just the case that it comes in. And you see that little dome on the bottom there? That's actually one of the smart features where it can sense the ambient lighting and it adjusts the features accordingly. It also has a feature that makes the light brighter when it senses that you're slowing down, almost like a brake light effect. And then the attachment, it's like a miniaturized GoPro-like, a Garmin-like, not GoPro-like, Garmin-like attachment here. They also have, on some of their other lights, which we'll introduce in the future, they have a GoPro-like attachment for the front. But the rear here, they're using a Garmin-like attachment. So you just kind of click and you turn it. And you can see on this attachment here, that's where it goes in. Basically, this would be, I like this because this goes on the seat rails. You see those little, they're almost like wings. They just go on the seat rails, they clip on there and it's firm and solid. And then you basically put the light in here. So it would be like this on the seat. You put the light in here and then you turn and it clips. Basically the light clips on there. So if you can imagine, you'll see it in a little while when I actually do it. So let's say it's hanging on the bike like that. That's kind of how it would be. It's neat, just nice and clean. So if you don't have a saddle bag on your bike, that would be an attachment. Now they went further by introducing the same attachment but on a strap. So if you have a saddle bag and you can't put it on your saddle rails, you can wrap this on any of the tubes, your seat post, and it would still attach the same way. Click it in there, turn it, it will snap in because of this. I love that. It's just very solid. So I'm not using this because I don't have a bag on there. So I'm just going to use this attachment. But I think that's a nice touch. Well, let's get to the light. I'm going to go ahead. I'll leave that on there for now. Let me take this off. It's easier to attach to the bike when the light is not on there, when you're putting this attachment on the saddle rails. But what I really want to focus on are the features of the light. They have a plethora of features. Some of them I was able to validate. Some of them I didn't really get the results that they put in here. But I think it was because of what they call the brake function. So when you get the light, you get this document here, you know, and it's okay. It's not comprehensive. I don't think it's meant to be, but it's enough. It introduces the two attachments I talked about pictorially, so you can kind of decide what you want to go with. So there's a combination of a quick start guide and it leads you into being able to use the light right away. So imagine you just got this in and you see the two attachments and you decide what you're going to do. First thing you're going to do, walk over to your bike. I'm going to slip it over the rails like this. You may hear it snap. It basically snaps into place. Let's get it on there. So you basically, it's over the saddle rails now, and you want it to be tight. It doesn't move. That's solid. Okay, so that's the attachment I'm going to use. If you had a saddle bag on your bike, then you would use this. The straps have holes in them, so you can just turn and clip it here. Easy to use. I'm still going to keep that because there are certain times when I may have a saddlebag on there. That's kind of neat. All right. They include a 3mm Allen key in there. And then they also include the USB-C charger. It takes about 90 minutes to 2 hours to fully charge this light. Now, before I get into the features, my one pet peeve was that when you tap this light, it lets you know by the color here. See, just one tap, it lights up green. Well, green means, according to their documentation, 10% to 100% charge remaining. That is too large a range to put on one color. Because if I'm green at 10% and I'm heading out on a ride and I'm doing 6 hours, it's not going to last 6 hours. I don't like that. They need to modify that on the feature ones. You need to have a different color. Green needs to be maybe 50% to 100%. And then when you get to about 25%, make it amber. Right now, at 10%, it goes to red and it starts to flash. Let me see here if they have it in here. So you get like a limp home mode and you may get 30 minutes. For the kind of riding I do, no. With the feature I turned on this light when I tested it, which is the braking feature, I've been able to only get up to 9 hours, which is plenty for the kind of riding I do. But if you want more hours, according to some of their things on the chart, it will run as much as 60 hours on low. Well, in order to get that, it's my opinion that you would have to turn off the braking function. What is the braking function? So to turn the brake function on, you hold this for 3 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003. Let it go. You saw that light come on bright and it was steady. Okay? It lit up constantly. That means the braking function, the smart function is on. If you want to turn the braking function off, when the light is off, you hold that for 3 seconds until the light keeps flashing quickly at the highest output. 1001, 1002, 1003. Did you see that? Was it too quick? Let's do it again. I'm going to turn the braking function on. 1001, 1002, 1003. It's steady at the brightest output. Right there. That means the braking function is on. Turn the light off. 1, 2, 3. You got to wait. Did you see the flashing? The flashing meant I just turned the braking function off. So it seemed a little complicated, but to simplify, braking function on, hold it for 3 seconds until the light lights up constantly at the highest output. So you have to hold it 1, 2, 3, wait till the light gets bright, then you stop. And now the braking function is on. To turn the braking function off, 1, 2, 3, we're looking for a flash. You saw that. Now it's off. I'm going to turn it on again because that's what I'm going to test it in. 1, 2, 3, steady, bright. Now braking function is on. What is the braking function? When you slow down, the light's supposed to get brighter. I was able to only notice that on a group ride, which I will run the clip here in post-production. But I didn't get the opportunity to really test it and have anybody to film me while I was slowing down or whatever. So not that big a deal because the light itself is very bright. And that's what I want to introduce to you. The different modes, when you go through here, it says they've got the output run times in this document. There's a little chart right there. And the first thing I did was I looked for the group mode. So it says low on here, then it has high, then it has flash. In order to find these modes, it was easier to find the flash mode and then go from there. So for example, when you turn in the light on, you have to hold it less than 3 seconds. Now, it's kind of hard to tell what mode this is, but it looks low. And you see, because of the smart function, you see that light underneath there? I really like that because it really lights up the ground in addition to this guy. So when you're using it, the whole back of your bike lights up down. Then you've got this thing, they will see you. Okay, I'm going to go through the modes. I'm going to find the flash first. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see. The camera is not going to really do it justice, but it's trying. Let me go through, let me find. This is how I got comfortable with it. You see the flashing. And I turned off. Why did it turn off? Because my finger went under here and I affected the ambient lighting. Remember, we're in smart mode. This light will adjust if it gets cloudy. It's kind of like your car that has automatic lights. When you go into a parking garage or in a tunnel, the lights come on or something like that. When I put my hand under here, the light behaves differently. You see that? So let's go through, let's find the mode. This is high. Okay, now on the paperwork, high is like the second one on the list. So the first thing I did to get comfortable with the modes was I found high. Then I went from high and to see what happened. So even though it's on high here, this smart light is still blinking. I don't know if you can see that. Well, yeah, right there. I'm using my hand as a reflectorized. Let's use this. So that light underneath, the little dome that I showed you, is still blinking. I really like that feature. Now we're going to go to the next mode. That was high. And the next mode should be a flashing of this square, not the one underneath. See that? That's the flash mode. According to them, this light underneath is called the tracing light. Opti meaning optical lighting, that kind of stuff. So it's sensing what's going on with the ambient lighting. Okay. So this is flash. And supposedly during the day you can get 45 hours. At night you'll get 7. I was able to get about 9. And I think it's because of the braking feature. I'm going to go to the next mode. This is the mode I used a lot. This is group ride mode. You can see how the light kind of got softer when I switched. It blinks a little bit, but it doesn't follow a particular pattern. It changes depending on what you see that. It changes depending on what's going on. And that really, it does not annoy the other riders in the group. I really use that a lot. I got about 9 hours or so out of that. I'm going to go to what they call that smart mode. It stopped the consistent blinking and it started changing based on what is going on under this opti tracing light. Like how much light is getting or whatever, this will vary. But I just love the form factor. Look how big that tail light is, even with this camera's limitation. Very, very bright lighting. So that's the smart mode. From smart mode, they got smart day, smart night. It's really one mode, and depending on what's going on outside in the day, it will behave differently. I'm going to go to the next mode. This is low. So even at low, the opti tracing light is still working. As my hand moved under here, the light behaved differently. So as things, you see that? As I move my hand, so it's like if it gets cloudy, this guy will do, yeah, look at that. Because I just covered it up. Very, very smart light. I love it. It's nighttime now, so you can see how it actually looks from a distance on the bike. I'm going to turn it off. I held it for 2 seconds to turn it off. If you remember, if you hold it for 3 seconds, you're changing the braking function. Whether you want the braking function on or off. But to turn it on is just 2 seconds. So I'm going to put it on the bike and then go outside. That's how easy it is to put on there. Just, I love that. We're outside. And I've been trying to show, this is what I was not able to show in the studio. That's that opti tracing light that is underneath that I talked about. I'm going to walk closer to this. It is still in low mode, I believe, from inside. Look at the light underneath. That's that little, hopefully it'll do it justice. Let me come under here. Right under there, there's a light under this dome. See that? That little thing I showed you. That's what's lighting up the entire bottom of the bike and the road. And it does that even during the daytime. Look at that. This is low mode. So the light itself, the rectangle is not doing anything. I'm going to walk up and I'm going to change it to the next mode. Just going to cycle through the modes. And look at that. So from low, I believe that is high. The up-T tracing light is still blinking, but look at what it does. The entire rear of the bike on the ground is being lit up. That is a very nice feature that they put on their light. Let me just verify the mode I'm in. It remembers the last mode you used. So I believe this is high. Now, you notice that the rectangle is stationary. It's not doing anything. It's just lit because it is in high mode, because we went from low to high. Now I'm going to walk up and I'm going to move it to the next mode, which should be the flashing mode. Right there. So now the rectangle is flashing. In addition to that up-T tracing light, let's see, it looks like the up-T tracing light stopped flashing, but you can see, look at the circle. You see the circle on the ground? That's from the little up-T tracing light on the bottom of that light. It's not flashing, but it's brighter when you go to the flash mode. That is very nice. When I put this light on my bike, what I realized was a lot of the cars were backing way off early. They were giving me a lot of room from behind because I can see them in my mirror when I'm riding. Those of you who've been with the channel for a while, this is my mirror here that I use. It's glass and it works just like a car's mirror. I can see what's going on behind me. So when you put it in the flash mode, the up-T tracing light is brighter and it makes a dome on the ground. And this is the up-T tracing light. I want to come real close and see if I can pick it up. There we go. You see that light under there? That little circle. That's what's lighting up the ground. I mean, look at that. That's why they call this the See Me 300. They can't say Smiths. They can't say they didn't see you. Let's go to the next mode, because this is the flashing mode. We're going to go to the group ride mode, which is the next mode. I'm going to tap that. This is the group ride mode. So the rectangle still flashes, but it's softer. And you still get that dome of light around the rear of the bike. So you imagine I'm going to back off. I'm about 6 feet away right now. I'm going to go further away. Look at the bike in the distance. You have a circular red light rolling down the road with you, in addition to what the rectangle is doing. Look at that thing from the distance. I'm almost 20 feet away. Okay? Can you imagine how visible you are with a light like this? Look at that. So I'm going to walk back, because this is group ride mode, and I'm going to put it in the smart mode, which the up-T tracing light that's lighting up the road can sense. So in the flashing mode, the up-T tracing light does not flash. In the low and the high mode, the up-T tracing light will flash on the ground. So let's go to smart mode. Smart mode will sense whether it's day or night, and since it's nighttime, it has a different behavior than when it's daytime. So this is the smart mode. You just leave it in that mode and it will change based on what's going on. But you still get that up-T tracing light from the group ride mode. So I used it in the group ride mode when I rode with the group, with the clips that you by now probably have seen, so that it wouldn't bother the other riders. But look at that red light on the ground just following you. All right, you legends. It's daytime, so I'm going to show the same modes in the daytime. It still has the braking thing set up like I did before. I'm going to turn the light on. Okay, I'm going to back up. It's a lot brighter than the camera can even reproduce. So it's really not fair to the light. But I'm going to cycle it. I'm going to come close so you can see, but I'm going to cycle it. So that's the full brightness there. This is the first flashing mode.
I don't know if you can see on the tire that the little the optical sensitive light down there. I'm putting my finger there so maybe you can see that. Let's see. Yeah, you can see this light underneath is on. My finger is showing the reflection. That light is also lighting up this area here and the tire. I'm going to go to the next mode because it's not flashing right now. It is steady while this is flashing. Let's go to this mode. You can see the red light on the tire. Keep closer so you can really see it, because you can't really see it on the ground, but you can see it on the bike, on the frame right here. You can see the light there. The camera does a good job of reproducing that. It also reproduces that on the tire, and you can actually see that, but you can't see it on the ground because it's daylight. And now this is beginning to flash. This one's steady, the one underneath. Now this one's flashing. I'm hoping the camera can reproduce that. Look on the tire here. You will see the light flashing. It hits the tire. It hits there. It's a brighter beam than the camera is reproducing, even though it's daylight. It's still flashing. And this is brighter. So that's high. That's the flash mode. That's the first flash mode. And then you go to group mode. So when it's in this flash mode, this light is steady, as I explained. The same thing as the night mode. But all this area is lit. All down here is lit by the light under here that you see hitting my finger. The camera does not really reproduce it very well, but if you look on the seat post there and on the tire, you can see the light. That's group mode. This is the smart. So during the daytime, this behaves differently in the smart mode than it does at light at nighttime, when I did it at nighttime. But you can still see the optical light here lighting up this entire area. It's very bright. And once I switch to the low mode, now this is lighting up. I'm hoping the camera reproduces it very well. I'm trying to put my hand there. It's like the blinking is happening under here now. If you look at my finger, you will see that the blinking is happening under there. And this whole area here has like the red, like a circle. Of course, on a cloudy day, it would probably be more pronounced, but these modes are just different than any other light I've seen. So the CME 300 definitely makes sure you're seen. So for me, I like this mode right there. The first flashing mode, I really like that. This is the group mode, which is also very effective. But when I ride solo, this is the high mode. I don't really use that much during the daytime, but you could if you wanted to, because this is still on. It's flashing. You see that? This is steady and bright, very bright, but then this is flashing. That helps them get a depth perception on you. From a distance, they can tell how far you are. A flashing light really enhances that. That's bright. So the high, and then you go into the flashing mode. I don't use the high that much. I like this flashing mode. It's good, busy street, city, a lot of stuff going on. That's very effective. And you still have this one on underneath. That lights up this whole area, all this area here. You can't really see it on the ground except when it's cloudy or at night, as you saw before. But it's very effective. I'm going to back up.
The camera really does not do it justice because you need kind of a high-speed camera to keep up with that. So let me come closer and maybe it will replicate what I can see without the camera. Right about here. This is pretty realistic, right here. Yeah. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to go through the modes. That's the group mode. You see the tire still has that red hue on it. That's from that light, the optical light underneath. But this is what I'm seeing. It's very effective. I use the group mode a lot. It's very soft, but yet effective. Once you get into this mode, this light is steady as this flashes. That's the smart mode. Behaves differently at night than it does during the day. But this is kind of a good representation right here of what I'm seeing. I'm going to cycle it back. And you can see now in this mode, the bottom is flashing. I kind of like that for the group ride as well. So the flashing is really underneath. It's very effective in group rides or cloudy days. But a day like this, I will use this mode where this is like the smart. I like the smart features here. Look at that. The top light is brighter than the lower periodically and they switch on you. Okay, so it's a very interesting light. It has a lot going on for it. You'd have to spend some time playing around with it. And if you're the nerdy type, you'd like this light because it's really effective.